Henry was born in the eastern part of the United States in the 1800s. He had many brothers and sisters. Henry was the youngest child in the family. When he was about 2 years old, his parents decided to move to the West. They wanted to be pioneers and explore new places. They loved the idea of adventure. One day, the family packed all their things into a covered wagon and started their journey. They traveled through forests, over mountains, across rivers, and wide plains. Along the way, they saw many new and exciting things. They even met some friendly Native Americans. Finally, they arrived in Texas, but something sad happened. Little Henry fell out of the covered wagon while it was moving. None of his brothers or sisters noticed. His parents didn't see him fall either. That evening, when they stopped to rest, his parents realized Henry was missing. They searched everywhere, calling his name, but they couldn't find him. They were heartbroken, but they had no choice. They had to keep going. Now, little Henry was all alone on the hot, dry plains of South Texas. Even though he was small, Henry was a smart boy. He looked around and saw mountains, cactus plants, and dry land. The sun was hot and bright. After walking for a while, he saw a dark cave and went inside to rest. He lay down and fell into a deep sleep. Inside the cave lived a family of coyotes, a mother coyote and her 5 little pups. The mother coyote saw Henry and felt sorry for him. She decided to take care of him. Henry felt safe with her. He began to love his new mother and his coyote brothers and sisters. They were kind to him. He played with the pups and followed them everywhere. Henry learned to run like them, eat like them, and drink water from rivers. At night, he howled at the moon with his coyote family. Over time, Henry even learned to understand the sounds and language of animals. Soon, he forgot about his human family. He truly believed he was a coyote. Many years passed. Henry grew up strong and wild. One day, when he was around 20 years old, he was drinking water from the Pecos River with the other coyotes. A cowboy nearby saw him and looked confused. "Why are you drinking like that?" The cowboy asked. "You're not a coyote." Henry looked up and replied, "Yes, I am. This is my coyote family." The cowboy laughed and said, "If you're a coyote, then where's your tail?" Henry was surprised. He had never thought about that before. He turned to the river and looked at his reflection in the water. He looked again, and again, but he didn't see a tail. He stood there quietly. Confused and thoughtful, Henry was shocked. "He didn't have a tail, you're right," he said slowly. "I'm not a coyote. My name is Henry. I'm a human. This is a big surprise for me." The cowboy laughed, and Henry laughed too. "My name's Tall Tom," said the cowboy with a smile. "I'm a very tall cowboy. This river is called the Pecos River. I'll call you Pecos Henry. Come with me, Pecos Henry. You can be a cowboy like me. We'll work together at the Longhorn Ranch." "What's a cowboy?" asked Pecos Henry, curiously. "A cowboy watches and guards cattle and horses," Tall Tom explained. "We take the cattle from Texas to other places. People in the East buy them because they want good meat. A cowboy is strong and brave." Pecos Henry liked that idea. He wanted to become a cowboy. But he felt a little sad too. He turned to the coyotes, his animal family, and said goodbye. They had taken care of him, and he would miss them. His heart was heavy, but he was ready for a new life. "Let's go to the ranch," he said to Tall Tom with excitement. Tall Tom gave Pecos Henry some cowboy clothes. Henry looked at them and laughed. They were strange and funny to him. But he put them on proudly. Tall Tom got on his horse, and Pecos Henry walked beside him. He didn't have a horse yet, but he didn't mind. It was a bright, sunny day. The sky was blue, and the sun was hot as they walked across the land together. Their journey was long. By the time they reached the mountains, it was evening. Henry felt tired. "Ah, I'm so tired," he said. "Let's sit down and rest." "That's a good idea," said Tall Tom. "My horse is tired and thirsty too." He gave the horse some water. Then he and Pecos Henry sat under a big tree to relax. In the tree, there was a blackbird singing a sweet, cheerful song. Pecos Henry smiled. He still remembered how to speak the language of animals, so he talked to the blackbird. They had a long, friendly conversation, then Pecos Henry and Tall Tom shared some biscuits and water. Henry even gave a piece of his biscuit to the blackbird. It chirped happily in return. Tall Tom began singing a cowboy song in a warm, deep voice, "But remember the Red River Valley, and the one that has loved you so true." Pecos Henry liked the song. "What's the name of that song?" he asked. "It's called Red River Valley," said Tall Tom. "Many cowboys in Texas sing it." Tall Tom built a small campfire. The two cowboys sat near it, talking about the life of a cowboy. They looked up at the sky filled with stars. It was peaceful and quiet. That night, they both fell asleep under the stars. Early the next morning, they woke up and began their journey to the ranch again. After 2 long days, Henry and Tall Tom finally reached the cattle ranch. The other cowboys saw them arriving and smiled. "Welcome. Welcome to Longhorn Ranch." They shouted happily. The ranch was huge. Everywhere Henry looked, there were longhorn cattle grazing in the fields and drinking water from the river. He watched the cowboys riding their horses, each holding a long rope in his hands. "I want to be a cowboy," Henry said to Tall Tom with excitement. "What do I need to do first?" Tall Tom replied, "First, you must find a horse. Second, you need a rope. Then we'll take all the cattle to the Red River Valley to sell them. But the journey is long and difficult." Henry looked around and spotted a strong, black horse standing near a cactus. No one wanted to ride it because the horse was wild. But Henry wasn't scared. He walked slowly to the horse and spoke gently in the language of animals. The horse didn't answer. Henry climbed onto its back, but after a few seconds, the black horse threw him off. "Try again, Henry," shouted Tall Tom. Henry got back on, and once again. The horse bucked him off. But Henry didn't give up. "You're a real bucking bronco," Henry laughed. "That's your name now, Bucking Bronco." For 3 days, the wild horse kept throwing Henry off again and again. But Henry was strong and full of courage. He wasn't afraid of Bucking Bronco, or anything else. Bucking Bronco was a powerful and beautiful horse, but he didn't want a master. Still, Henry didn't stop trying. On the 4th day, something amazing happened. Bucking Bronco stopped bucking. He stood still and calm. He finally understood that Henry was not like other people. He was special. Henry was brave and kind. Bucking Bronco knew this cowboy was his true friend. From that day on, Henry and Bucking Bronco were always together. They worked side by side, using their rope to round up cattle all over Texas. They traveled from state to state, leading the cattle to new places. Henry became famous. People at rodeos called him the best cowboy in the land. Everyone liked him. He became known as the King of the Cowboys of Texas. A few years later, something even more special happened. Henry met a kind and beautiful woman named Sue. She lived near the Rio Grande River. Henry fell in love with her, and she loved him too. One sunny April day, they got married. It was a big celebration at Longhorn Ranch. Everyone joined the wedding party. There was dancing, music, and delicious food. Cowboys cheered and laughed. Sam, the friendly cook, organized a pie-eating contest. Tall Tom loved apple pie, but he didn't win. His friend, Big Bob, won the contest by eating 88 apple pies. Henry and Sue were very happy living at the ranch. Even though Henry had a new life now, he never forgot the coyotes who raised him. And he never forgot how to speak the language of animals.